Hi, my name is Julia. I'll be talking about business and society, second chapter, managing public issues and stakeholder relationships today. And within this chapter, I'll be focusing on the specific framework called the 8 strategic radar screens. So for this radar screen thing, it is quite useful to allow managers to monitor the business environment from these 8 different aspects, especially when it comes to tackling with this complicated public affairs or public issues. So what are the 8 strategic radar screens? First of all, that'll be the customer environment, and then competitor environment, economic environment, technological environment, social environment, political environment, legal environment, and lastly, the geophysical environment. So I will move on to more details later on and give some examples, but it's quite important that you actually understand the logic and the usage of this framework. So this little tip for me to memorize this 8th phrase would be past plus CCLG. So like past is this quite popular analysis or like pastel, but it doesn't necessarily have the other E, which is environment. And then, so just memorize it as in past plus CCLG, and that's pretty much of it. All right, so for the customer environment, managers have to focus on its customers' preferences. So, which means when it comes to like public issues such as like public relations or any kind of like new products are launching, the team really have to measure or analyze the customer's preferences. And then secondly, the competitor environment. So the competitor environment is mostly about which or how much information could the competitors, not necessarily the same industry, but just like any kind of competitors that might produce similar products or provide similar services that are overlapped to your own company. So you have to be aware like how much and what kind of information could your competitors acquire about yourself and also other competitors. Thirdly, the economic environment. So this is more of like the figures or the monetary elements in the market, such as prices, demand, supply, quantities of the products, and all sorts of these economic environments will be counted within this category. And fourthly, the technological environment. So this is quite straightforward. This is just how this company can access to new technology, whether or not they are able to apply this new technology smoothly and efficiently into managing their public issues or like managing the relationships with their stakeholders, like customers, employees, shareholders, just to name a few. Right? And then the 5th one will be the social environment. So for this one, it's kind of more like the relationship within the society and also to concern the culture of the society, the culture of this industry, and also civil issues and concepts that are also be taken into consideration. For the 6th element will be the political environment. So basically political environment is like anything that relates to the government. Probably will be the governmental decisions, taxes, or like any policy strategies that the government will possibly taken will be considered into this category. So the 7th one is the legal environment. So for corporates especially, patents and copyrights for their products or specific logos, like new technologies would have to have their own copyright. And it's also a protection for their intelligence. So any kinds of law, policy related elements will be counted into the legal environment. And lastly, the geophysical environment. So this one is also quite straightforward, like the political one. It's just basically the physical space or location of this corporate. So it also allows the managers to think of their previous move or the next move for this corporate to like shift into a new market, or simply just to stay in this area for long. So also, yeah, they have to consider their geophysical environment. That would also help them to manage the public issues in a more comprehensive way. So that's pretty much of a brief introduction of the 8 radar screens framework.